Oh, here's a good one. Kate Watson, Sharon Springs. So, Peter, she's closer to you. Is Kate Watson here today?
Yes.
Thanks for coming down. In its oil, gas, and solution mining law declaration of policy, ECL, Article 23, okay, that is in the public interest to regulate the development, production, utilization of natural resources of oil and gas in this state in such a manner as will prevent waste, to authorize it to provide for the operation and development of oil and gas properties in such a manner that a greater ultimate recovery of oil and gas may be had, and that the correct correlative rights of all owners and the rights of all persons, including landowners and general public, may be fully protected. How can it be reconciled with home rule, where the determination of the permissible land use for drilling and individual landowners' rights and the subsequent benefits or lack thereof to the general public will be made by a group of individuals whose interests, motivations, and understanding of the issues are questionable? Kate lives in Sharon Springs. Those who oppose gas drilling state erroneous facts and make highly emotionally charged and persuasive arguments based on errors. Anyway, that's an opinion, so we'll leave that out. If it matters, my husband and I own a certified organic farm in the town of Sharon, approximately 340 acres. We also run an organic feed business, which employs 3 people. We currently have a gas leak which expires in 2003. So how to reconcile home rule and the state having an organized plan for how this should be done?
And Kate, as we all know, Sharon Springs is anti-frac central in Schoharie County. So in the issue that you're addressing, the state has already taken a stance with extractive industries. And the state has made it very clear for mining and other things like that. They've made it clear that while local governments have a role in being part of the equation, they don't have the ability to do the permitting, to do all the things that are required to make sure that the business functions as it should. And that's really where the rub is right now on the fracking piece. Local governments, I say local governments, but groups, as you just identified, are very passionate about protecting their property. So they go to their local officials and say, put local laws in place to protect us. That runs right against the state precedent with extractive industries that acknowledges that local governments really are not capable. They just don't have it. I was a local official myself. I was a village trustee. I was a councilman. We don't have the technical ability. I say we, local governments, don't have the ability to do everything needed to protect public health and safety on those issues. So there is a role for local governments, and local governments, many of them, as we know, they're our friends, our neighbors, or volunteers. Many of them, they don't get paid enough to make ag minimum wage. But for many of these things, they just don't have the skills and abilities. They can't do it. So bottom line, for oil, natural gas, extractive industries, you really need a bigger partner to work with who has technical ability to oversee, make sure things are safe. And so local governments, well intended, they just can't do it. They just are not up to the task. Did that get to your question?
But doesn't home rule empower them to make those decisions?
It does to some extent, but in state statute, and I'll use that one that deals with the mining industry, local governments are expressly prohibited from regulating and permitting. So that statute, just as an example, it really limits home rule power. Home rule power, just so people understand, is a function of our state constitution. It's not just something that people talk about and want to do. Local governments are empowered to regulate land use activity in New York State's constitution. So it's a constitutional change required if people don't want local governments to have zoning and land use and all those controls. But when it gets back to issues, the legislature has inserted itself and limited home rule authority. And that's the issue now. The local home rule, they can't stop fracking right now because it's still a state authorization. They can't stop a mine because it's a state authorization. They can't permit it. They can't force them to do reclamation plans. That's a state, the state has kept that authority solely to themselves.